Hey and welcome to the office hour of App Legends, and thank you for coming along. I'm going to be looking at the question and answers, but if you have a specific question you would like to ask, then please go ahead and put it in the question and answers so that I don't have to go through all the chat to find a specific question. That would be very helpful. Okay. So, Bessie, I'll see if I can address your question in a little bit. But tell me, are you creating a web app, a mobile app? What's your app doing? And I'm not sure what you mean by you can only have so many words. Do you mean the messages, the prompts that you have in Famous? If you're on the free account, you only get to do 5 prompts a day, up to 30 prompts a month. If that's what you mean, then that's just part of the free account. And hey, it's free. So five is actually, you can create a whole app with 5 prompts and it'll be free. But anyway, just give me more information about what you mean by that, and I'll see what I can do to help. What I'd like to do in today's webinar is set up a whole quiz funnel and connect it up to Go High Level, all in just a few prompts, but not just connected to Go High Level so that the contact details go into Go High Level. We're going to make it so the answers go into Go High Level, and we can even set triggers based on those answers, based on the results and things like that. So I'm going to be doing that, but by all means, fill up the question and answers, fill up the chat, and we will go from there. And then I'm going to end the call with what I end the call with every week, which is something I learned this week that I didn't know last week. And so that will be at the end of the call. Just to avoid all the questions that I always get, yes, this is recorded. Yes, it will be put on my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is AI App Builders. So go ahead. In fact, I'll put a link into the chat for you, builders. And the fun thing about YouTube is once you subscribe, that way my number on the screen here will update live. So if you are not subscribed, then you can get some visual gratification that you're increasing with that. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and that. Can you all confirm that you can see a purple screen with Dream It, Build It, Launch It on? Just put a 1 in the chat. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Joanna. Awesome. Thank you, Bessie. Brilliant. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going in and we're going to create a new project. Before I do that, for those of you that have been using Famous for a while, I want to draw your attention to the new layout of the project screen. It's all just changed. And so let's just have a look at that. We've got a new format, which is, I love it. I absolutely love it. I have quite a few projects in here, and just finding the project I'm working on has been a real pain because up to now you couldn't change the title of the app. And so finding it, you're kind of looking for a name or something like that. They are working on being able to change the name of the app, which at the moment you can't do, but they're looking at being able to make that an option. Let me go back to my dashboard. What happens here now is when you're viewing your projects, the last one that you used is now at the top. So that way you don't have to scroll. One of the apps that I've been working on is my Relationship Equalizer app, which is the companion to my book, which is Tune In, the Relationship Equalizer. And that was the first app I did. So I'd have to scroll all the way down. And then there was 2 iterations of that. And so I'd have to work out which of the 2 that I was working on. Now the latest one is always going to be near the top of the list. So that's really helpful. Chuck, this is, it's just awesome. And I spoke to Alex last night and told him how I like this, and then moaned that I wanted to change the name of the app. And he said, it's coming in the next couple of days. We'll be able to change the name of the app. We'll also be able to change the slug of the app, which is this part here on the app. So you'll be able to do that. Anyway, we're going to create a brand new project. And I'm looking forward to the ability to be able to change those project names. We're going to go ahead and create a new project here. And we're going to make this very simple. Normally, I would use the prompt builder, the AI prompt builder, which allows you to brainstorm what you're building. And then from there, you can build a really good app. I'm not going to do that in this call. I've demoed it in previous calls. There's videos for it in my channel. I'm literally going to say, I need a quiz. Someone pick an industry for the quiz in the chat. Just throw any industry. 3, 2, 1, go. Insurance. Travel insurance, car insurance. Joanna, give me a type of life insurance. I need a quiz to help people decide on the best style of life insurance. It will have 10 questions with 4 answers, and when they click on an answer, it will auto submit and go to the next question. Once complete, they will be asked for their full name, email, and telephone number before being shown the results. Once the contact details, how many of you in the chat use Go High Level or a similar contact relationship management system? And is that Go High Level or something else? The contact details are submitted. It will send a webhook to Go High Level with contact details and all the answers to the questions and the result information that was populated. What do we got there? Guy High Level, Catalyst. Cool. I've not used Catalyst, Joanna, but I'm sure that what I'm doing here is going to be pretty much similar to Catalyst. So if most of these systems have some form of webhook situation that you can connect to. So very simple prompt. I need a quiz. It's going to be life insurance. There's going to be 10 questions. I'm being really lazy here. Oh, it's a white label of Go High Level. Well, fine. And what we're going to be using today is also a white label of Go High Level. I actually have a white label of Go High Level, which I'm going to be offering to those people that don't have Go High Level at the end of this call for a very cheap monthly fee. And so hold that space for that. Go High Level is normally between $97 and $197 a month. And I'm going to be doing something way better for our famous customers at the end of this call. And all the answers with the questions of the result will end up in that. Oh, not populate. There we go. All right. So then my custom color, I would like the style to be in shades of heliotrope purple, which is hash 8811DD. That's all we're going to do. We're going to make sure we're in a website app and not a mobile or anything else, because no one is going to download an app just to fill out a quiz for life insurance. There's better places to go. But if it was something that maybe was a quiz to get into an app, that would be a good starting point to an app that was maybe onboarding their preferences for a mobile app. That might work really well. Anyway, that's our prompt. I'm going to just copy that because in a little bit, I'm also wanting to, oh, what happened there? I messed that up. There we go. Go back here. And we're going to go ahead and get that to start working. While that is working, I'm going to just stop my screen share a second because I want to just go and grab my keys. And I love you guys, but you're not seeing those. And so let me grab my keys. For those of you that do use Go High Level, the keys are in your business settings. And oh, we don't need keys. Sorry, we're not using the API. We're using webhooks. So I will show you how I do it in just 1 second once I get into the right. Sorry, I realized that in this, we're actually going to make things really easy and we're going to use webhooks. So my screen should have gone back to screen sharing mode. And what we're going to do is simply create a webhook. When I did this first, and this is kind of what I learned this week that I didn't know last week, I've got a real long technical background in doing things in various different ways. And the problem with that is the same problem when you're building Lego or you're building IKEA furniture or you're filling out the onboarding for publishing a mobile app and you're a guy. This is the whole issue. And that is that you think you know better than the instructions, or you think that you're doing it right because, hey, you've got all that experience, so it must be right. And so when I first connected Go High Level to a famous app to Go High Level, I used the API and I used a whole load of complex things. And you know what? A webhook is just as powerful. And so that's why we're doing this with a webhook today, to show you that you've got just as much power with a very simple webhook that you would have with an API connection. So we're going to create a new workflow. We're going to do it from scratch. And for those of you that wonder where I am right now, I'm in Go High Level, or at least a white label version of Go High Level. And so this is how Go High Level works. We're going to add a new trigger, and that trigger is going to be a webhook. And right now, this is all we need to do, because we're going to copy this URL of the webhook. And for those of you that don't know what a webhook is, it's basically a web page that is simply sitting there listening to information that's going to be sent to it. And that information that's going to be sent to it is the quiz answers, the contact details, and our famous app is going to push that information to the webhook. The webhook's going to go, oh, hold on, I hear something, grab all that information, and then do the automation that we're going to set up here based on that information that we have. And so that's the process here. So we've just copied this URL, and we're going to then take that URL and put it into our app. So let's see how well our app is doing. Brilliant. So I said to you before, I'm going to be really lazy with this app, and we've got a question. Let me make sure that that isn't something I need to answer now. For us newbies, what's the difference between a webhook and an API? Excellent question, Corey. What's the difference between a webhook and the API? A webhook is simply a page that is listening to that information. The API is a whole set of commands that can do lots of different things all at the same time, because it's being given information. It knows what the commands are to do everything. And so the API would set the automation in place. We're simplifying that using a webhook by using the automation builder. No, my screen is full of things. Give me 1 second. Spend my life moving Zoom windows out of the way. And yes, so in here, we're going to create the automation here. So instead of API, which is using the API, which is confusing, it's a higher level. I guess you are going higher level, but anyway, it's a higher level of technical know-how and is needed for that. For the webhook, it's basically anyone can do it, and that's why we're doing it that way. Where is the link coming from? We went into automation, Joanna, and then we created a webhook trigger, and then it gave us the link for this particular webhook within Go High Level. So that's where we got it from, and we just copied it by clicking on the little copy icon on the right-hand side. And I will go through that one more time, and don't forget the call is recorded, so you can go back and watch it again. Anyway, let's go back to our quiz funnel. I was telling you I answered that question. Where are we getting the webhook link from? I answered that question too. Good, awesome. That's my questions are all done. So I told you before, I'm very lazy. I didn't really want to create these questions. You could, in the prompt at the beginning, give it, here's my 10 questions, here's my 40 answers to those 10 questions, and it can then use your information. I was lazy. I was just using AI here, and so it knows about life insurance. It knows how it works, and so it's gone ahead and created those questions for us. So here's our quiz. It's listened to my coloring. It's used heliotrope purple. It's put a nice little purple gradient in here. And so now we've got, what is your primary goal for life insurance? To provide income replacement for my family, cover final expenses, build wealth, protect my business and key employees. So I'm going to go with this first one. And it's auto, remember at the beginning in the prompt, I told it when I entered an answer, it should skip to the next answer. If you didn't do that, you would end up having to select an answer, then press send. Select an answer, then press send. And that's annoying for the user to be able to do that, to have to do that. So here, what age am I? I'm there. How would you describe your financial situation? Oh, I'm stable, not high. You guys don't pay me enough. How long do you need coverage? Until retirement, entire lifetime we'll go with. What is your risk tolerance for investment? Moderate. How important is premium flexibility? I want payment flexibility. Not important. I prefer fixed payments. Do you want to build a cash value? Yes, I want a guaranteed cash growth. What is your annual household income? How important is tax efficiency? Not a major concern. Somewhat important. Very important. critical for estate planning. I'd go with that. What best describes your family situation, established family, kids in school? And then here is our form. And it's listened to what I wanted in the prompt, and it's asked me to populate it with all my information. So we're going to stick that in there. We're going to click get my results. And now it's given me a whole response to that. And obviously you can change all the questions. You can change all the responses. But here it's telling me what type of insurance I need, a term life insurance. And then you would add on here, I forget who suggested insurance, but you would add on here that for term life insurance, here are our best packages, or now you've given us your details, we'll be contacting you shortly to arrange your term life insurance. Whatever the call to action here is, at the moment we've just got to take the quiz again because I didn't tell it what I wanted to do other than send the information to our webhook. Now, what we haven't done yet is told it where our webhook is. And so we need to now do that. And so we're going to add a prompt. So right now, whoever was talking about they're on the trial and they've run out of prompts, right now we've written this with one prompt so far. So, and we've got a working system that's giving them the answer. What it's not doing right now is storing that data. So right now the information is being used, but it's not going anywhere. It's just being lost. So we're going to now fix that part of the system. I could have put the URL for the webhook into the prompt at the beginning, and it would have probably just connected it all up. But I didn't do that because I hadn't created it at that time. So do I still have the URL of the webhook? Yes, I do. It's in my clipboard. So we're going to paste the URL of the webhook. And just as a reminder, we got that from the automation setup. We created a webhook workflow trigger, and then it gave us that URL for the webhook there. So here is the webhook to send the contact details, answers of the questions in JSON format. Now that's something worth remembering. I know I'm now using a technical term, but I'll explain why we're using JSON format in a little bit, but write that down. If you are writing notes, write that down. JSON format, JSON, JSON format, and then in a result field. So this is going to send us their name, their email address, their telephone number, the 10 answers, and those are helpful. So when you're talking to the client, you can see where they're at. This has told us term life, but you just knowing that they need term life doesn't suggest what their risk factors were or whatever. So this is going to put all of the answers that they gave you into your Go High Level contact database. And the result in a results field. Let's just give it that. We're going to be as short as possible with our prompts here. And it's then going to go off and fix that for us. Right now, we've used 2 prompts, and it wants us to connect it to a Supabase database. And I'm going to take a risk and see if we can do it without connecting to a Supabase data. Am I? Let me do this. Let me skip that and say I skipped the Supabase connection. And I'm doing it this way because some of you don't want to pay $20 a month for a Supabase project and to be on top of this. You want to basically have your app do everything. And right now, I don't see why we need Supabase just to send it as a webhook. And so, thank you, Joanna. And so I skipped it because, well, if we don't need a Supabase database, because we're paying for Go High Level. So if we don't need a Supabase database, we're not doing anything database related. Exactly. So Joanna's question is, why would we need a Supabase? There's no login or anything like that. So Supabase isn't just authentication. It isn't just a login system. It's a database in itself, so it can have tables of data. And it also stores what we call Supabase secrets, which are basically parts of information. Supabase Bessie is a database system. It's what most websites will have in the back end to store changeable data, whether it be content, whether it be connections to other APIs, whatever it might be. So most of my projects, you saw when it came up with a list of, do you want to connect it to any of these? I have like 50 Superbase projects in my account because they're doing different things. So as soon as your app needs to interact with something, it's going to suggest you have a Superbase database. What I want to do here, though, is just see whether it's placed this webhook into a piece of code. So those of you that are scared of code, just look away and I'll tell you when you can look back at your screen a second. But what we're going to do is just search through the code, and here we can see it didn't need Superbase because all it's done is it's put the webhook in the code. Those scaredy cat people can now look back. The code is gone. Everything's safe. And so we skip the Superbase connection. It's saying that everything's connected. We've just confirmed in the code that our webhook was in the code. And so, Joanna, that's what we're covering. How do we connect this app to my CRM? If your CRM is not Go High Level, just look at whether it has a webhook system and you'll do it exactly the same way. So you're going to connect it to the webhook of your flavor of CRM, and then we're going to show you now what to do with that data. So right now we have created the quiz and we've given it one prompt to ask it to connect to the webhook. So we're at 2 prompts right now. And no problem. You can watch the recording if you need to refresh. So now what we're doing is we're expecting it to send the answers to this quiz. And I'm just going to quickly select the first answer in all of this and press send. And now we're expecting that to have sent that information to our webhook. And we can go test it by going back to Go High Level and fetch a sample request. And in here, we can see that a request was sent at 11:28, which is exactly now. And if we go into that, here we can see all of our answers got sent via our app to our webhook without Superbase. Now we've just got famous, Go High Level. Simple. Superbase was not needed, and I'm so glad I took the risk and was like, no, I'm not going to create Superbase. I'm just going to do it without. And so now what we can do is use this data to start doing some really cool things. So right now, this is awesome. We've got our 10 questions. The answers are going into our system here. And so we're going to click save that as a trigger. And the next thing it's asking is, what do we want to do with that data? And we want to create a contact. So, oh, sorry. We can't just create a contact. It needs to know what to do with the data. So we're going to add a field, and the field is going to be the full name, because that's one thing that we're asking for. And then it's going to say, well, what do you want the full name to be? Well, I don't know what everyone's name is. So we're going to click on this little tag, click on inbound webhook trigger, and then click on contact, and then click on full name. And so now it's going to put the full name that they filled in the form into the full name field. We're going to click next field, and this one is going to be the email field, and we want that to be inbound webhook contact email. And the next one we're going to do is the telephone. So maybe it's called phone. There it is, phone. And we're going to fill that with the webhook contact telephone. And so now we've created our contact record, and we click save down here. So now, very simply, and I'm going to stop at that point to test it, but we've very simply created a webhook, and then we're creating a contact. We're going to publish this automation, click on save, and go back and test it. Let me make sure I catch up with here. Could we use Easy CRM in Deal AI instead of High Level or Superbase? I don't know whether Easy CRM in Deal AI has a webhook, but I do know that Alex and his team are working very hard on the CRM functions within Deal. Can't give you a time scale, and I probably even shouldn't have mentioned that because Alex only told me last night. But hey, I told you now, so don't tell him I told you. So if I don't believe there is a webhook for Easy CRM right now, but I do believe there will be one in the future. So here we have it. We've got our trigger and our create contact. We're going to go back, and we published it. That's the important bit. We're going to go back to our home screen here, but we're going to go back to our app. We're going to say, take the quiz again. We're going to quickly fill out just random stuff here, just so that we're not wasting time reading all the questions. We're going to type in our details. We're going to put in our email address. However, I'm going to put a little variable on here so that it will create a new record because I'm sure I'm probably already in the system. And I want you to see it create a new record. So I've just put plus quiz in the email. What about Lead? Again, with Lead Falcon, I'm a famous expert and I'm not all the other Alex app experts. So I don't know with Lead Falcon whether they have a webhook. Basically, what you're looking, if you go to support of whatever CRM that you're using and say, do you have a webhook function? Then you can do this with that webhook function. I do know that Lead Falcon and Easy CRM are having some major changes in the future. And so if they don't have a webhook, I'm sure they will very soon. So now we're going to click on Get My Results. We're still back with the same term life. Whoever it was that suggested doing insurance as this quiz, then maybe you should contact me because apparently I need term life insurance. But now we're going to go over to our contact database and we're going to search up here for the email address that we just put in. And there is our contact that just filled out our form. We've got Mark P. Summers, we've got his email address, we've got his phone number, and further down, we've got all the answers here in tags. So everything is, oh no, we haven't got it in tags because we didn't yet set that part up. So we're going to go to automations now. We're going to set the tags up. Is everyone following so far? So far we created a contact from our quiz without Superbase. So we had a quiz that was created in one prompt. We then connected it to a webhook in another prompt. So we've now used two prompts. And already with two prompts, we've got a working quiz funnel that's collecting data. And now using Go High Level, we have the ability to, oh, that was stupid. I didn't give our system a name, but it's this one here because that was today's date. Always up here, change the name of your workflow so that you can find it later. Otherwise, it's going to have a really ridiculous name. Insurance quiz funnel is what I'm going to call this and make it really easy to find. So now we've got our webhook that's pushing in the data. It's creating a contact. And now what we're going to do is add some tags to the user. So tags are a great way of segmenting our list. Let's say we only want to contact all the people that are a good fit for life-term insurance. We could search for everyone that has the life-term insurance tag and it will come up. Let's say we kept our database up to date and every time we sold life-term insurance, we gave them a tag to say sold life-term insurance. Now what we can do is have a smart list of people that have the tag needs life-term insurance, but doesn't have the tag sold life-term insurance. And that way you've got a whole list of prospects for that one particular product because you're saying, I want them to have this tag, but not have this tag. Boom, there's all the people that you're going to turn into dollars. Okay, here we're going to add the tags on here. And we're going to click on these three little dots on the right hand side to say we don't want to add a standard tag. We want to add a dynamic tag. And the reason it's a dynamic tag is because we want to do it based on our inbound webhook trigger. So over here, the inbound webhook trigger is where all that information was coming in. We're going into that. We're going into the result because we want to make the result that inbound trigger. And then we're going to use the, oh, I don't know, benefits. I think it's the benefits. We need to really look at the actual webhook itself to see where that data is. But for now, we'll make it the benefits. And we can see what that is by looking at our sample data. So here's the sample data. Here's the result. So we don't want the benefit. We want the type, which is term life insurance. The benefit is the merge fields. The nice thing about having these all coming in from the webhook is we can now merge this into an email that sends off to them that says, thank you for filling out our quiz. I understand you're looking for result type term life insurance. Here's a little bit about term life insurance, which is result description. And here are the benefits, which is result benefits. And you can just merge all that into an email and have that email written as if you just written it in response. This was one of my questions. Will this be added to the club? Yes, absolutely. So what I'm going to be doing is making all of the prompts that I'm using will be into the snippet library. So that's all going into the club. I've been working hard with the club this week to make the website a little bit better, and I'll be covering that a little bit later. There's still a lot of me to do. Sadly, I'm juggling client calls and then building my own app. I feel a little bit like an electrician that has all the cables coming out of his own walls. Oh, Joanna, the club is secret. I can't tell you about it. It's like a private club for really hardworking app builders. And so it's not something I can just, oh, fine, I'll tell you about it. The club is a monthly system that I use. It gives you access to me for support. Every month you can have up to one 15-minute one-to-one call with me. If you got stuck with something, we can just jump on a call and fix that. You also have access to my AI prompt builder that creates that beginning prompt and spits out a much better starting prompt for you. And then there's a whole load of snippet libraries. How do I solve this problem? Here's a prompt snippet that you can use. What is the criteria to get to the club? $37 a month. It was supposed to go up on the 1st of July, but I had people moan that $47 was a little bit too expensive. So we kept it at $37 moving forward. And you can join. I'll put the URL in the chat. I'm going to actually put a whole load of information in the chat just because I've got this as a snippet. Oh, that didn't work. No, why is that misbehaving? I'm going to do this a different way. Let me move that. Maybe if I move that down here. No, I'll send it to you later. My snippet, for some reason, is misbehaving. So I'll send that to you later. But yes, $37 a month. You get access to my private Discord channel. You get access to the club builder and everything else. Let's go back to our system here. And so we're going to change that tag adding to the result type, not the result benefits, because we don't want to tag them all this. We already know what the benefits are. So here we're going to go to our tag and we're going to change this. So we're going to delete what's in here and we're going to change it to the inbound webhook, the result, and then the type. So anytime you don't know what these merge fields are, you can go back to that inbound trigger and it will show you what those are. Just a note on the club, I am going to be limiting it to 100 members. And that's because I've found this week, keeping up with everyone and giving you quality of that membership, 100 is the most that I can handle and give real quality. When we get to that 100 mark, there'll just be a waiting list. You have to wait for someone to leave or die to be able to get in. So that's how I'm going to make sure that I can keep the quality level of that club membership as high as possible. So we've created that tag that is going to put the result in. But what I also want to do is create a tag for all of the answers to the questions. So in here, we're going to, again, go to dynamic. I'm only going to do one of them now, just so you're not watching me do lots. But under answers, oh, actually, we can do it that way. So in our webhook, the answers are all just one field. So that way, it will create a tag for each of them. So we'll go ahead and create that. So the webhook's firing. We're creating a contact. We're adding a tag. And we're adding another tag, which is the results. And then we could also send an internal notification to the Go High Level app. And then that is going to be contact name. So we're going to go here to inbound, contact, full name. So full name just completed the quiz. So the notification is going to tell us that the full name just completed the quiz. And then we're going to say, and needs, and then we'll take the tag inbound result type. So now the notification is going to send me a message every time. No, I don't have cheat sheets as such. That's what these videos will be. The videos will all be in the video library. You'll just be able to cover this. I'd love to say when time permits, I'll create SOPs for things like this. But I probably can tell you right now that time isn't going to permit anytime soon because, well, I need to employ clones and robots, and absolutely, Bessie, every webinar that I do, every training video that I do is going to be in my, wait, how do I point? There, where it says 452 in the bottom, in the corner of the screen, that is my, come on, Mark, speak. That is my YouTube channel, and everything that I do goes into that YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed to that because then you'll get notified. Anyway, back to our message here. We're basically putting a message in that the contact name just completed the quiz and needs term life insurance. We're then going to make that redirect to the contact. When we click on that notification, it would take us directly to the contact. So then we can press the call button and jump straight on the phone with them. And we want that message to go to all the users in our Go High Level app. And so that way the first person can jump on it. Let's save this and test it one more time. And then we can, you're welcome, Joanna. Then we can jump onto something else. Oh, well, actually we can't. It's 45 already. We can jump to the Go High Level offer and more details about the club. So here we're going to go. We're not going to do any more prompts. We created this a very powerful quiz funnel, collecting the details and following up with a client all in 2 prompts. This is, and we could have done it in 1 prompt had I given it the webhook URL in the first prompt. So pretty amazing stuff. Let's go ahead and fill in this quiz one more time and put my name in. I'm going to put a completely different email address in here. We'll use this one. Maybe this one wasn't used yet. And get my results. I definitely need term life insurance, Joanna. If you could hook me up with something that's going to look after my 10-year-old when I move on. Well, hopefully he won't be 10 when I move on. That's a little bit morbid. But yes, you need to hook me up. All right, so here we go. We're going to go back to our search. We're going to search for that email address. We're going to go into that email address and we're going to scroll down and look at tags. And our tag didn't actually work. And I know the reason why that didn't work is because we're sending it a whole load of tags all at the same time. And it's not quite in the right format that Go High Level wants. What I'll do is in the snippet that I'm putting into the club is I would change what that command should be. So it doesn't say here, look, it says object, and we don't want that to say that. But it did put in the insurance type. And so now we can create a whole automation that when someone gets given the tag term life insurance, go ahead and do this. Send Joanna a text message so that she can call the client straight away. Whatever it might be, automation can be seriously triggered from all of those tags that are coming into the system. All right, let's go back to Famous on this screen and then see what these questions are. Oh, we only have one. Oh, what is Superbase? I already answered that. Bessie, are you clear of what Superbase is, or do I need to elaborate on what is Superbase? Let me know in the chat. Are there any other questions that you're good? Awesome. Are there any other questions that you have? Please put them in the questions and answers. If not, I'm going to go ahead and in the chat, I'm going to give you the web address for the club. app.builders/club. So the club, and I'll pull it up here as well. The club is, in fact, let me give you a different address because you can now actually sign up directly inside the club and that would be easier for you. I'll give you that URL. Awesome. And delete this. So this is the club, and this here where it says 138 users, that's including the free users that were in here before. They no longer get access to the prompt builder, the prompt history, or the prompt snippets. And so this will actually change soon to how many club members are in. So whether there is space for 4 people. So the free members are going to be removed from this number, and I'm strictly going to leave it so you can only be in the club if you're within that first 100. And so in here you can go ahead and where is my join button? Well, this is why you don't change things on your app just before you start a webinar, because things disappear. maybe you have to sign up for an account. So let me go ahead and log in. Although that's not going to work because I'm a member. I think you sign up for a free account and then it gives you the option to upgrade. Because I had people upgrade. First link, right? You can do it through the first link. Thank you, AJ. The first link has it, but I think also you can sign up as a user, and then it will basically say every time you go into something like the prompt snippets, it will say you need to upgrade. Or at least that's what it should do. Let's cover the prompt snippets. This is where, if you want to link to OpenAI, you can search for, and I haven't put it in yet, but you can search for OpenAI and it will come up with something. Let me find something that is relevant in here. All right. You're having problems with mock Superbase database data. You can search for mock and it will come up with all the information from mock. $37 is correct. Yes. $37 a month. It was going to go up to 47 on the 1st of July. It went up to 47 for about 3 days. And if you are in the room and you actually signed up at 47, don't worry, you're going to get refunded the 10 and your next month is going to be 37 because I like to play fair. The prompt builder in here is really cool. This is where you can talk to the bot and build the best prompt ever. Let me go to my prompt history. Oh, I haven't done any in this account. But once you've built your prompt, it will then be available in the prompt history. This book calls, I don't believe is working yet, but this is where you, as a club member, you can get one 15-minute call with me. Let's say you're having an issue. You've prompted it 10 times and you've attempted to fix that issue. And have I linked Infusionsoft? I haven't. I'm kind of pretty good at Infusionsoft. If you know who I am, Robert, you'll think that's kind of funny. But I haven't actually connected it to Infusionsoft yet. I've kind of moved on from that ecosystem. But Infusionsoft does have a webhook system in their campaign builder or automation builder, whatever they've called it this week. And so you can do exactly what I just did and go high level in Infusionsoft, or you can keep up with everybody else and move from Infusionsoft to go high level. Oh, I said that on a recording. Maybe that bit won't probably be in the recording. But yes, that's you can do it in Infusionsoft through their automation builder. Let's go ahead and give you the next link that you will need, which is this one here. For those of you, that still isn't working. It doesn't like me pasting into the chat, which is really annoying. This link here is for the $47 a month Go High Level white label, which is what I was using to do all this stuff. This isn't just a low level. Go High Level is normally 97 up to 497 a month. This is every feature you can think of. So for those of you that book calls with me, my calendar link, all run through Go High Level. My contact list, my sales, my all my automation, my prospects, my opportunities, they're all in Go High Level and all automated. I don't have time to run my own calendar. Go High Level does that. The chatbot that is on the AI App Builders website, all inside Go High Level. And so if you've ever booked a call with me and needed to make a change, you're not talking to me down here. You're not talking to me. You're talking to my chatbot who answers questions. He can see the whole database. That chatbot is doing all of that. So for famous customers, I was going to make it only available to club members, but I realized 37 here, 47 there. It's like, you don't want to do everything. I get it. You should do everything, but you don't want to. I get it. Now you can do the $47 a month offer and you'll get unlimited contacts. You'll get the calendar. So you can get rid of your Calendly subscription. You don't need that anymore. That's all included in this. It is pretty much fantastic. Last minute error. I've got to stop changing things just before a call with a client or a webinar or whatever. Fireflies tells me this meeting is about to end, so we've got 4 minutes, Fireflies. So what else have we got here? So I went to the provided link, click start for free, and then it throws join the club, and it popped up a Stripe page. That's correct. You sign up through Stripe, and then it will give you the subscription in the club. It's all linked together, Joanna. So I answered Robert about Infusionsoft. Robert, if you join the club and jump on a 15-minute call, we can tackle that Infusionsoft thing together. Like I say, I do know a little bit about Infusionsoft. In fact, behind me, he's being very quiet, but behind me is a client that came over from the UK, and he was, how long ago did we start working together?
20 years ago.
20 years ago, started working with Infusionsoft. He said he's been attempting to get rid of me ever since. A very, very interesting question, Chuck. Can I transfer my current 97 direct subscription to the white label for 47? I know you can transfer from one white label to another. I'm not sure whether you can transfer from Go High Level to another. I think we're connected on Discord, Chuck. So why don't you send me a message and we'll work on whether that's possible offline. But it's something I definitely want to find out. So let's just work together and see. There might be some complications on what can get moved, but it's definitely worth having a chat with me about that. How about the marketing features? Oh, so let me go in and we're going to overrun. So if anyone, one of you is not interested in all these questions, then feel free to drop off. Thanks for coming. Next Friday, same time, same place. See you then. The recordings are in my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And thank you for that. So back to your marketing features. Yes, you can connect all your social media, Facebook, Instagram, Google business pages, LinkedIn, TokTik, YouTube, Pinterest, X slash Twitter slash whatever it's called this week is not in here, but you can connect all of these and then you can set up a social planner where you can write all of, or get AI better still, to write all of your posts in advance and then just have it auto post. That is included. You don't need to pay for that anymore. Marketing features. Go High Level keeps growing and improving at warp speed. Yes, Mike, it does. It is awesome. Agree. Can I change my 97 to yours? Monica, again, send me a Discord. We'll work together to see if that's possible. If it's not possible, then how much have you got set up? Can you export your contact list and put it in the 47 and then maybe use this as a cleaning exercise to set it up again? Sure, it's going to take some time if it's not available just to be imported and exported. I have taken people from one white label to another white label. That's easy. But the going from true Go High Level to a white label, I haven't done that. But Monica and Chuck, send me direct messages. We'll work on it. We'll make it happen. Michael had to go. No problem, Michael. Thanks for being here. And building landing pages, funnels, email. Joanna, it does it all. This is using other terms. This is ClickFunnels all in here. You can build under sites here. You're going to be building funnels and websites and stores and so forth. I don't build my websites in here anymore because obviously I've got Famous and I get Famous to do it for me and it's so much better. And then I link it into here. So your funnel, I would do that in Famous just because it's much better. It's going to look better. And I get all this for 47. Well, you get it all for 47, whether you're a club member or not. So this isn't club member and this are two separate things. So club member is $37 a month. That's where you get me in a Discord channel. You get access to all of the snippets and prompt builders and a whole load of other apps that's all in here right now. And hopefully it will get developed soon. But I'm going to be looking at bug fixes and things like that will all go into the club. That's $37 a month, limited to 100 paid users. And I won't be taking more than that. Even if you're the 101st, oh, please let me in. I want to keep the quality of that to be so high that it's going to be limited to 100 members. And then on top of that, or next to that, is the Go High Level white label. It's called MyAm, which stands for My Automated Marketing, myam.app. And that is normally $97 a month for all the features. And you're going to get it for $47 a month. And because of the amount of people that are likely to do this from the Famous community, I'm going to be setting up another YouTube channel that has a whole load of videos about Go High Level and how to set up really cool automation. Still having difficulties moving from Go High Level drag and drop to verbalizing, designing. Right. I get that, Chuck. I'm the other way. I can't visualize in my head what I wanted to grab the snippets and move them into the different area. I'd much rather go to Famous and go, I'm looking for this, and then go, oh, that's okay, but maybe we can move this stuff around. And then you prompt it because Go High Level, Famous is creating them in little snippets. If you look at the code, everything is in little snippets. So you can ask it to move those snippets around once it's created them. But it's just different styles of working. No, there's no right and wrong way. Go High Level is super powerful doing all that stuff. Famous is super powerful doing all that stuff. The fact that you can connect the two together is even more super powerful. Joanna, how about the possibility to buy phone numbers, calls, and SMSs? Again, the client behind me, Stephen, he has 4 sub accounts now. Yeah. So 4 of these $47 a month accounts. And I actually needed to check before this call what price he was paying me so that I didn't sit here and talk about a better offer that he was already on. But luckily, he's already on a good deal because he's a friend and a very long-term client. But yes, you can buy, and he does this. He has telephone numbers both in the UK and in the US. He does SMSing. When you've booked calls with me, you'll get SMS reminders. It's all done in Miami. It's super powerful. So yes, you can buy numbers. If you're going to use SMS, you will need to go through what they call A2P certification. It takes about 4 or 5 days. I think it costs $30 per number or something like that. And that will allow you to send SMSs for marketing purposes. So there's a little bit of a hurdle for the SMS. It's not just in Go High Level, it's in every SMS platform. You need to do A2P. I can help you with A2P, yes. You can, if you're a club member, you can use that as your 15-minute call for me to do A2P, or you can just book me for an hour. I still do the done with you services. So let me give you that web address real quick. Done with you. Yes, this here, where you can book me for an hour. Right now, though, the hour bookings, I believe I'm booking up for next Thursday right now. My calendar is, well, you can look. I didn't even shave before today because my calendar is just so crazy and booked. I'm loving every minute of it. But you can also have a longer time where you want me to set up your whole Go High Level with in excellence and best practice. We can do that on a done with you call if you want. Chuck, SMS authorizing is a hurdle, but once complete, exactly. Once you do the A2P and you get authorized, and sometimes you won't get authorized that first time and it takes a little tweaking, but once you've done it, you can get it's there. As long as you behave yourself and you don't spam a whole list of people you bought off the black web, then you're never going to have to deal with it again once you've gone through that process. Very good point, Chuck. Thank you. Now, why your friend has 4 white label accounts, just curious. So he has an amazing set of businesses. They are all very different. And so he has 2 main businesses that are split then between the UK and the US. And he markets in both of those areas. And it's easier to target your market by having a US account and a UK account, especially for things like marketing with SMS and so forth, so that you're sending the messages from the right numbers. That's why, so he has 2 main businesses and 2 accounts for each. And that's why he has 4 accounts. He also loves me, and so he wants to have as many subscriptions with me as possible. And I think you should too, Joanna. So that, I think, answers that question. I don't see any other questions. We've gone a little bit over time. So if you're quick and you have any other questions, throw it in the box. If not, would you suggest that if I have 3 businesses to do the same? If they are separate businesses, then yes. Especially with the telephone number side of things, having multiple telephone numbers, you can have multiple telephone numbers, but getting them to just do things, it's better to separate it out. You can tag people that this contact is for this business. It just gets a little bit messy. And without thinking that, well, I'm just after more $47 a month, I like to keep things clean as possible and have it separate so that then it's not confusing with what is this funnel for that business, is it for this business? It's just cleaner doing it that way. So do I have an affiliate program for my time and training or for Go High Level? I do have one, but I don't right now have the link to it. So if we're connected on Discord, just send me a message. If we're not connected on Discord, we should be. Go ahead and join my Discord channel. If you don't know what that is, it is in the club URL that I gave you earlier on the left-hand side, just below the Buy Mark a Coffee link. There's in fact, my client, when he arrived, he knows me so well that he bought me two coffees on the way. So he actually bought me real coffees rather than click on my bio coffee link. Anyway, I'm digress. The join Discord channel, make sure you're in that channel too. And that is where you can join that without joining the club. There's a starter area and then there's a club and there's the rest of my life cycle funnel in that Discord channel. Guys, I appreciate you attending. I love seeing you all. Thank you so much. The recording will be in the YouTube channel. I also send out an email to everybody with all the links in case you missed them and the link to the replay. You'll get that sometime between now and tomorrow morning. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. See you soon.